The wind was screaming. The helicopter danced in the clouds like a wounded bird. Below, the Atlantic Ocean spread wide and merciless. A blanket of blue death waiting to swallow whoever dared fall. Inside that helicopter, Amina sat like a queen, her golden hair scarf whipping across her face, her eyes burning with rage. Her husband Tund, a humble man in a navy blue suit, looked at her in disbelief. "Amina, please, calm down," he shouted over the roaring engine. But Amina turned her face away, disgusted. "You think I will sit in this helicopter and smell that?" She snapped. "You are a grown man, Tundi, a billionaire's husband, behaving like a village fool." Tundi's hands trembled as he held onto the steel handle near the open door. "Amina, it was just a mistake. I didn't mean mistake." She laughed bitterly, her diamond earrings flashing under the sunlight. "You embarrassed me in front of my pilot. You think I married you to live in shame." The pilot's eyes flicked nervously between them, but Amina raised a sharp hand. "Keep flying," she barked. "Don't you dare stop." Tund swallowed hard, tears forming in his eyes. He still loved her, even now, even in her madness. The woman who once cooked for him in a small kitchen was now the one throwing him to the wind. "Amina, we can fix this. Please, don't." But before he could finish, Amina shouted, "Get out! You disgust me, Tund! Get out of my helicopter!" She pushed him, one hard, angry shove, and the world stopped. The wind tore his scream away as his body dropped through the sky. For one long moment, he saw her face, beautiful but cruel, staring down at him from the clouds. Then the blue waves rose and swallowed him whole. Amina turned to the pilot, her face calm again. "Take us back to Lagos," she said coldly. "He is gone." The pilot obeyed, but as the helicopter turned, thunder rolled across the sky. Amina didn't notice that the wind carried her own perfume, mixed with guilt. Far into the sea, down below, a man's hand broke through the surface of the water. Tund was alive, barely. His mouth gasped for air. His eyes were full of pain, but also a spark of something new. Fire, the fire of betrayal, the fire of a man who had been thrown away like dirt, but would rise like gold. The world knew Amina as the queen of luxury, but once upon a time, she was just a dreamer with a torn handbag and a big smile. 5 years earlier, before the fame, before the $1 billion empire, Amina was just a young Lagos girl trying to survive. She sold handmade clothes at a small roadside stall. Under the hot sun, fighting dust and rejection, people passed by her designs like they were invisible. But one man stopped. Tund, a mechanic from Surulere, hands dark with grease, but eyes soft with honesty. He stood there, admiring the bright fabric she held up. "You made this with your hands?" he asked. Amina blushed. "Yes, but it is not perfect," he smiled. "Then it is real. Perfection is for liars." That one sentence melted her heart. From that day, Tund started stopping by her stall every evening. He would bring roasted corn, or a bottle of Fanta, or sometimes just his smile, and each time, she laughed a little louder. He was not rich, he did not own a car, but he had something no money could buy. Peace at night, they would sit outside her tiny apartment, watching the stars. She would rest her head on his shoulder and whisper, "One day, I'll build a brand the whole world will wear, and you'll be beside me, always." Tund would kiss her forehead. "I'll fix your machines, your car, your stress. Everything. I'll be your peace." Time moved fast. Her designs went viral online. A famous model wore one of her dresses on TV, and overnight, her name, Amina Collections, became a storm of success. Within a year, she owned her first boutique in Victoria Island. Within 3, she bought a mansion with white pillars, golden chandeliers, and bodyguards at the gate. But something changed in those golden halls. Fame came like perfume, sweet but dangerous, and slowly, it began to cover the scent of love. One evening, Tund returned home from his workshop, oil stains still on his shirt. He found Amina sitting on a velvet couch, sipping champagne. Her friends laughed around her, dressed in designer gowns. "Ah, look at our mechanic husband!" One of them joked. Another whispered, "Amina, this man does not fit your level anymore." The laughter stung, but Amina didn't defend him. She just forced a smile, eyes low, pretending not to care. That night, Tund held her hands gently. "Amina, don't let money take your heart away from me." She sighed. "Tund, you don't understand this world. Respect is everything. Appearance is power." He looked at her for a long moment and said softly, "And love? Is love not power too?" She didn't answer. A month later, Amina launched her new fashion tower, the biggest in Africa. Flashlights, red carpets, champagne fountains. Everyone cheered for her name, but in the crowd, Tund stood quietly, proud yet small. Watching the woman he once held in his arms, now held by fame. When he went to congratulate her, she smiled politely, but her eyes were cold. The crowd didn't see it, but he did. Something in her heart had shifted. From love to pride, and pride never loves back. The mansion sparkled with glass and gold. Luxury cars lined the driveway. Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Range Rover. Every mirror in the house reflected Amina's success, but none reflected her peace. Tund, once her heart beat, now moved like a stranger inside his own home. He would wake early, fix her coffee, wait for her at breakfast. But she rarely showed up. She had meetings, events, photo shoots, and when she did appear, she came with an entourage of assistants, stylists, and guards, as if the man who built her dreams no longer belonged near her throne. One morning, as she prepared for a TV interview, Tundi entered her dressing room quietly. She was wearing a silver gown, diamonds glittering on her neck. He smiled softly. "You look beautiful, my queen." Amina rolled her eyes. "Tund, please, don't call me that in front of people." He frowned. "In front of people. I am your husband." "Exactly," she snapped, adjusting her earrings. "A husband who still works in a garage. You don't see how embarrassing that is." Her words stabbed him like knives, but he forced a weak smile. "The man who fixes engines once helped you build your dream. Remember?" Amina turned, her reflection cold in the mirror. "And now I've outgrown that dream. You should too." Weeks passed. Tund stopped trying to please her. He started focusing on his small business again, fixing luxury cars for the rich. Ironically, many of Amina's celebrity friends became his clients. They respected his skill, his humility. But Amina hated that. One evening, she confronted him. "I heard you fixed the governor's car," she said sharply. Tundi nodded. "Yes, he appreciated my work." She folded her arms. "Do you enjoy being the mechanic of the rich, while your wife sits among billionaires?" He looked at her with sadness. "I don't need riches to have peace, Amina. But I see you have everything, except that." Her jaw tightened. "Don't you dare talk to me like that. I made you who you are." Tundi's voice broke. But it was strong. "No, Amina, we made each other. But somewhere along the road, you left me walking alone." That night, Amina didn't sleep. His words echoed like thunder in her head. Pride whispered, "He's jealous. He's trying to pull you down." And she believed it. She planned a luxury vacation to Zanzibar. Just the two of them. She told him, "I want to fix things between us." He smiled, Hope returned to his eyes. But she had another plan. One so cruel, even the devil would hesitate. The day of the trip came. The helicopter waited on the rooftop of their Lagos mansion. She wore a golden dress that glittered under the sun. He wore a simple shirt, nervous but happy that she wanted peace again. They flew over the blue waters, the wind strong and wild. For a few minutes, they laughed again. She touched his hand. "Tund, do you still love me?" He smiled, tears forming. "Till my last breath, Amina." She smiled too, but her smile was fake, because in her heart, she already knew that soon his last breath would come sooner than he thought. The ocean sparkled like melted diamonds under the afternoon sun. The helicopter sliced through the clouds, smooth and royal. Amina leaned back in her seat, wearing her designer shades and red lipstick that glowed like danger itself. Tund, sitting beside her, smiled softly. He thought this trip was their new beginning. He didn't know it was his funeral in disguise. "Look down, Tund," Amina said sweetly. "Isn't the sea beautiful?" He smiled, leaning closer to the window. "It is. You always loved the ocean." She nodded, pretending to smile. "Yes, because it hides secrets." He laughed lightly, not understanding. The pilot's headset crackled. "Madam, we're at my point. Should I circle?" "Yes," Amina said. "Circle slowly." The wind grew louder, howling through the cabin. Amina's perfume, sharp and sweet, filled the air. Tund took a deep breath, and suddenly, it happened. A small, awkward sound. He froze. Amina's face twisted instantly. "Did you just?" she hissed. Tund looked embarrassed. "I'm sorry, love. It just slipped." Her voice cut through him like glass. "You disgust me!" He blinked, confused. "Mina, it's just—" "Do you know who you are talking to?" she shouted. "I am Amina Gold, Africa's fashion queen. You think I will sit in my private helicopter smelling this nonsense? Please, calm down. I didn't mean." But she wasn't listening anymore. Her pride had found an excuse. Her ego had found a victim. "Get out," she screamed. "Get out right now." Tund stared at her, disbelief mixing with tears. "You can't be serious. We're over the ocean." Amina stood up, her earrings dancing in the wind. "Then swim, mechanic. Swim back to your garage." She pushed him, once. Hard, and the door opened. The world spun. Wind tore through his body. He screamed. "Amina!" But her face vanished into the sunlight. The blue ocean rose to meet him. Then, silence. For a long moment, everything was black. Then, air, pain, salt. Tund gasped, his lungs burning as he broke through the waves. He was alive, barely. Every breath felt like fire. But he held on. He saw the helicopter fading in the sky, a golden dot disappearing into the clouds. He whispered, voice shaking, "God, if you keep me alive, I will never beg love again." He floated for hours, waves pushing him toward a small island. Fishermen found him unconscious, his clothes torn, his ring still on his finger. When he woke up days later, he lay in a wooden hut, wrapped in old blankets. An old man sat beside him, humming softly. "You fell from the sky," the man said. "But maybe heaven didn't want you yet." Tund tried to sit up. His body ached. His soul was broken. He whispered, "Shish, she pushed me." The old man nodded slowly. "Then rise, son. The sea does not drown a man who still has a purpose." Weeks passed. Tund healed. But something in his eyes changed. A quiet storm. He didn't cry anymore. He didn't curse her name. He only worked, fixing boats, helping fishermen, learning silence. And then one morning, he walked to the shore and looked at the horizon. The sun burned gold on the water. "Just like her jewelry," he whispered. She took my life once. Now I'll build a new one without her." He removed his wedding ring, kissed it once, and threw it into the sea. Then he walked away, not a victim, but a survivor with fire in his veins. The night was heavy with rain. Thunder rolled over Lagos like a lion's roar. Inside Amina's new mansion, lights sparkled on marble floors. The same woman who once pushed her husband from the helicopter now stood in front of a mirror, wearing a diamond gown that shimmered like moonlight on water. But her reflection did not smile. She whispered to herself, "I won, didn't I? He's gone. I'm rich. I'm free." Yet her voice trembled, as if her soul refused to believe the lie. Suddenly, the glass door opened. A guard ran in, panting. "Madam, madam, there is a man outside the gate. He say his name is Tund." Amina's heart froze. For a moment, she thought it was a ghost. She turned slowly, fear crawling up her spine. "What nonsense are you saying?" But the guard's eyes were wide. "Madam, he's alive, and he came in a black helicopter." Her hand dropped the champagne glass. Crash! Her mind screamed. "Impossible! He fell!" "I saw him fall." Outside, thunder cracked as the gates opened. Tun stepped out, tall, alive, dressed in a black luxury suit that shone under the rain. His face was calm, but his eyes burned like fire. Behind him stood men in dark suits, bodyguards, silent and strong. Amina stumbled back, her diamond heels sliding on the floor. "Tunda. You're alive." Tund smiled coldly. "You wanted me dead, my love, but God said no." He stepped closer, every footstep echoing in her heart. "You threw me out like trash, because I farted." "No, Amina, you pushed me because you wanted freedom from love. You wanted power. You forgot that sometimes the poor man you shame might rise again." Amina's breath shook. "Tund, I didn't mean it. I was angry. You embarrassed me." He raised a hand. "Silence!" The room fell dead quiet. Then he pointed to the giant screen behind her. It flickered on. CCTV footage appeared. Amina laughing in the helicopter after pushing him, shouting, "Good riddance." Her face drained of color. "Ho! How did you get that?" Tundi's smile deepened. "You forgot, I built your empire's security system before you betrayed me. Every file, every message, every lie. I have it all." Amina fell to her knees, clutching her necklace. "Tund, please, don't destroy me. I'll do anything." He leaned closer, whispering, "You already did everything, Amina. Now it's my turn." He snapped his fingers, and suddenly, the lights dimmed. On every screen in the mansion, the footage began to play, broadcasting live on her company's page. All of Africa saw it. The comments flooded in. "She's a monster. She killed her husband." "The billionaire witch exposed." Amina screamed, tearing her gown. Tund turned his back slowly, his voice low but powerful. "You pushed me to die, Amina, but I survived. To watch you fall from higher." As he walked out, lightning flashed across his face, half lit by justice, half shadowed by pain. The sound of Amina's cries echoed through the mansion, mixing with thunder, as the once most powerful woman in Lagos broke into pieces. The next morning, the sky over Lagos turned gold, the kind of sunrise that looked too peaceful for what had just happened. Every news channel, every phone, every social feed screamed one name: Amina Bello, the billionaire wife who tried to kill her husband. She was finished. Her companies froze. Her friends vanished. Her mansion was surrounded by reporters shouting her name like hungry vultures. Inside, Amina sat on the cold marble floor, still in her torn gown. Her mascara had mixed with tears. Her diamond earrings lay forgotten beside her. the world she had built with arrogance was gone in one night. Why did I do this? She whispered. Her voice broke like glass. I had everything, love, money, respect, and I destroyed it all because of pride. But outside, a black helicopter landed again. Its blades beat the air with power and calm. Tund stepped out, wearing a simple white shirt this time. No suit, no guards, just him. He walked slowly through the broken gate, as if coming not to conquer, but to end a chapter. When Amina saw him, she crawled forward, her hands trembling. Tunda. Please, I beg you, forgive me, I was blind. Tunda's face softened. He looked down at the woman who had once been his whole world, now just a shadow of her pride. I loved you more than myself, he said softly. I trusted you with my life, but you pushed me away and taught me what love truly is. Not wealth, not pride, not fear, but mercy. Amina sobbed loudly. Then have mercy, Tund. Please, I'll give up everything. I'll disappear. He looked at her for a long time, the sound of the helicopter blades growing behind him. Then he nodded. You already lost everything that mattered. I don't need your money. I just needed you to feel what I felt. The pain of falling. He turned to leave. Amina grabbed his ankle, crying, Tund, please, don't leave me like this. He paused, looked at her, then said quietly, You pushed me from the sky. Now you must learn to live on the ground. Then he walked out, climbed into the helicopter, and took off. The wind from the blades blew through her mansion, scattering papers, flowers, and the last bit of her pride. Amina watched the helicopter rise into the clouds, the same way she once saw him fall. Except this time, he was rising higher, and she was the one left behind. She screamed his name until her voice broke, Tunda! But her voice was swallowed by the roaring sky. Narrator's voice fades in, deep and poetic. Sometimes, it is not death that punishes the wicked. It is watching the one you betrayed rise again. Stronger, calmer, and unreachable. The camera pans up. The helicopter disappears into golden clouds, and the screen fades to black with the words. Mina pushed her husband from a helicopter to protect her pride, but fate made him rise higher than before, while her own kingdom fell. In the end, she learned that betrayal is a wound that no amount of diamonds can hide. You've watched the pain, the truth, and the lesson. Now subscribe, so you never miss another African tale.